नमो भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
ओम
नमो भगवते
नमो
वासुदेव।
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हरे कृष्णा। टुडे we try to understand shloka number 16 and 17, skanda second, chapter 5, the cause of all causes. नारायण परः योगः
नारायण परा योगः योगः
नारायण परः योगः
नारायण परः योगः
नारायण परं तपः
नारायण परम तपः
नारायण परं ज्ञानम्
नारायण परम ज्ञानम्
नारायण परा गतिः
नारायण परा गतिः
तस्यापि द्रष्टु ईशस्य
तस्यापि द्रष्टुः ईशस्य
कूटस्थस्य अखिल आत्मनः
कुटस्थस्य अखिलात्मनः
सृज्यं सृजामि सृष्टः अहम्
सृज्यं सृजामि सृष्टः अहम्
ईक्षया एव अभिचोदितः
इक्षया एव अभिचोदितः
नारायण परः योगः
नारायणः परः योगः
नारायण परं तपः
नारायण परम तपः
नारायण परं ज्ञानम्
नारायण परम ज्ञानम्
नारायण परः गतिः
नारायण पराः गतिः
तस्यापि द्रष्टुः ईशस्य
तस्यापि द्रष्टुः ईशस्य
कूटस्थस्य अखिल आत्मनः
कुटस्थस्य अखिल आत्मनः
सृज्यं सृजामि सृष्टः अहम्
सृज्यं सृजामि सृष्टः अहम्
ईक्षया एव अभिचोदितः
इक्षया एव अभिचोदितः
नारायण परः योगः नारायण परं तपः नारायण परं ज्ञानम् नारायण परा गतिः तस्य अपि द्रष्टुः ईशस्य कुटस्थस्य अखिल आत्मनः सृज्यं सृजामि सृष्ट अहम् ईक्षया एव अभिचोदितः। हरे कृष्ण।
नारायण परः योगः नारायण परम तपः नारायण परम ज्ञानम् नारायण परः गतिः तस्यापि द्रष्टुः ईशस्य कुटस्थस्य अखिलात्मनः सृज्यं सृजामि सृष्टः अहम् ईक्षया एव अभिचोदितः।
Translation and purport with the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All different types of meditation or mysticism are means for realizing Narayan. All austerities are aimed at achieving Narayan. Culture of transcendental knowledge is for getting a glimpse of Narayan. And ultimately, salvation is entering the kingdom of Narayan. Inspired by him only, I discover what is already created by him, Narayan, under his vision as the all-pervading supreme super soul, and I also am created by him only. Purport. In meditation, there are two systems of yoga, namely Aṣṭāṅga-yoga and Sāṅkhya-yoga. Aṣṭāṅga-yoga is practice in concentrating the mind, releasing oneself from all engagements by the regulative processes of meditation. Concentration, sitting postures, blocking the movements of the internal circulation of air, etc. Sankhya Yoga is meant to distinguish the truth from ephemerals, but ultimately both the systems are meant for realizing the impersonal Brahman, which is but a partial representation of Narayan, the personality of Godhead. As we have explained before, the impersonal Brahman effulgence is only a part of the personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman is situated on the person of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as such, Brahman is the glorification of the personality of the Godhead. This is confirmed both in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Matsya Purana. Gati refers to the ultimate destination or the last word in the Vedas. Oneness with the impersonal Brahmajyoti is not ultimate liberation. Superior to that is the sublime association of the personality of Godhead in one of the innumerable spiritual planets in the Vaikuntha sky. Therefore, the conclusion is that Narayan or the personality of Godhead is the ultimate destination for all kinds of yoga system as well as all kind of liberation. Even Brahma, the creator of the universe, admits that he is not the actual creator, but is simply inspired by the Lord Narayan and therefore creates under his superintendence those things already created by him. The super soul of a living entities, two identities of soul, the super soul and the individual soul, are admitted to be in the living entity, even by greatest authority of universe. The super soul is the supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, whereas individual soul is the eternal servitor of the Lord. The Lord inspires individual soul to create what is already created by the Lord by the good will of the Lord. A discoverer of something in the world is accredited as the discoverer. It is said that Columbus discovered the Western Hemisphere, but actually the tract of land was not created by Columbus. The vast tract of land was already there by the omnipotency of the Supreme Lord, and Columbus, by dint of his past service unto the Lord, was blessed with the credit of discovering America. Similarly, no one can create anything without the sanction of the Lord, since everyone sees according to his ability. This ability is also awarded by the Lord according to one's willingness to render service unto the Lord. One must therefore be voluntarily willing to render service unto the Lord, and thus the Lord will empower the doer in proportion to his surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Lord Brahma is a great devotee of the Lord. Therefore, he has been empowered or inspired by the Lord to create such a universe as the one manifested before us. The Lord also inspired Arjuna to fight in the field of Kurukshetra as follows. Tasmatvam uttishta yasholabhasva jitva shatrun भुङ्क्षव राज्यं समृद्धं मया एव एते निहातः पूर्वम् एव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन. Bhagavad Gita 11.33. The battle of Kurukshetra or any other battle at any place or at any time is made by will of the Lord. For no one can arrange such mass annihilation without the sanction of the Lord. The party of Duryodhana insulted Draupadi, a great devotee of Krishna, and she appealed to the Lord as well as to all the silent observers of this unwarranted insult. Arjuna was then advised by the Lord to fight and take credit. Otherwise, the party of Duryodhana would be killed anyway by will of the Lord. So Arjuna was advised just to become the agent and take the credit for killing great generals like Bhishma and Karna. In the Vedic writings such as the Kathopanishad, the Lord is described as the Sarvabhuta Antaratma, or the personality of Godhead who resides in everyone's body and who directs everything for one who is a soul surrender unto him. Those who are not surrender souls are put under the care of the material nature. Brahmayan Sarvabhutani yantra arudani mayaya. Therefore, they are allowed to do things on their own account and suffer the consequences themselves. Devotees like Brahma and Arjuna do not do anything on their own account, but as fully surrendered souls, they always await indications from the Lord. Therefore, they attempt to do something which appear very wonderful to ordinary vision. One of the Lord's name is Urukram, or one whose actions are very wonderful and are beyond the imagination of the living being. So the actions of his devotees sometimes appear very wonderful due to the direction of the Lord. Beginning from Brahma, the topmost intelligent living entity within the universe, down to the smallest ant, every living entity's intelligence is overseen by the Lord in his transcendental position as the witness of all actions. The subtle presence of the Lord is felt by the intelligent man who can study the psychic effects of thinking, feeling, and willing. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Namo Bhishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuttapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam tam sajivam sa adaitam savadutam parijana saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubecha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 5th, the cause of all causes. And we try to understand Shloka number 16 and 17. In the Shloka number 16, they are describing about the different types of meditation and mysticism. That is um, main main aim is realizing the Narayan. And second, here they are describing about 4 points. Second, austerities are aimed achieving Narayan. As uh, all austerities which are done by someone, that only for achieving the Narayan. Third, culture of knowledge, transcendental knowledge, is also the glimpse at achieving the glimpse of the Narayan. And fourth, last ultimate is salvation in entering the kingdom of the Narayan. There again they describing in Purport Prabhupada nicely yoga or meditation, two systems, Aṣṭāṅga-yoga, Sāṅkhya-yoga. What is Aṣṭāṅga-yoga? What is Sāṅkhya-yoga? And the ultimate destination for all kinds of yoga systems, as well as um yoga system and um, uh, that is the only uh, all kinds of liberation. And in 17th shloka, that Brahmaji told Narad Muni that they should inspired by already created by the Narayan, and all which is all pervading super soul, and they also created by the supreme personality of Godhead. And in shloka they're describing about again one important point, that the subtle presence of the Lord is felt by the intelligent man who can study the psychic effects of thinking, feeling, and willing. Prabhuji will tell us in nicely. Vancha kalpatarubhecha kripa sindhubhe evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vishnubhyo namo namo. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for a wonderful summarization. So, as we all know, Bhagavatam is a cornerstone of this Vedic literature, which guides us towards understanding the ultimate purpose of spiritual realization. And hence, it is a very important literature which we have to study every day. And that is why we say Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And here, especially, we are seeing that the essence of all meditational mystical practices is to realize and attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, what Brahmaji is trying to highlight is all practices will lead to Narayana. So, spiritual disciplines, though appearing diverse, they are like rivers which are flowing towards the same ocean. And here, that same ocean is the lotus feet of Krishna. So, very first aspect which is talked about is dhyan. Dhyan means meditation. So, true meditation is not void or abstract. It is fixing the mind on the Lord. And every form of meditation ultimately aims to realize Krishna. Like mentioned by Bhagavad in Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita 6.47, of all yogis, he who worships me with faith and devotion is the most united with me, most intimately united with me, is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Secondly, regarding meditation, you must understand that in Kali-yuga, what is important is nāma-dhyāna. That is chanting the holy name, and that is the most recommended. Yoga means spiritual discipline. So Aṣṭāṅga-yoga, sāṅkhya-yoga, both aim at spiritual realization, but culminate only when the practitioner reaches bhakti stage. As we saw in the first canto, second chapter itself, 28 shloka, that when devotional service is rendered unto Vāsudeva, all jnāna and vairāgya automatically manifest. So without bhakti, yoga remains incomplete. So there's Ashtanga Yoga, where the focus is on concentration and controlling the body and mind. So it can be through regulative meditation or specific sitting postures, that is asana, or regulation of breath, pranayama, or withdrawal from external engagement. And Sankhya Yoga emphasizes discrimination between eternal and temporary, that is truth and ephemeral. So it engages the intellect to discern the soul from matter. So despite differences, both aim for realization of the impersonal Brahman. But then that is only a partial aspect of Supreme Personality. So it is not full and it is not complete. Regarding tapasya or austerity, everything has to be performed to approach Narayan. Because austerity purifies the heart, but without devotion, it becomes dry and pride inducing. Like it is mentioned in Kathopanishad, first canto, second chapter, 23rd shloka, that the Lord reveals himself only to the surrendered soul. So tapasya is done to please the Lord, and then that is real tapasya. As we'll see in the 22nd or I should not know, 29th chapter of third canto. Then coming to jnāna, or the transcendental knowledge. Now the pursuit is to gain a glimpse of Narayan. And true knowledge reveals our eternal identity as servants of God. Jivera Swarup hai Nitera Krishna Das. And that is why in Bhagavad Gita, 7 chapter 19 shloka, Krishna says that after many births, the wise surrender to me. Such a great soul is very rare. Onam janmanamante dhanvam brahm prapadante. Sa mahatma durlabha. So dhyana culminates in surrender. Otherwise it is incomplete. Aruhya kruchrena. So this we study in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. And the highest liberation, salvation, moksha is entering the spiritual kingdom of Narayan. Now, what people generally talk about is Brahman, which is a partial nature. Because impersonal Brahman is described as the effulgence or Brahmajyoti emanating from Supreme Person. And it is merely a reflection of Narayana's transcendence. So, Brahman realization, even though it is profound, is not the ultimate spiritual goal. It is glorification of the personal aspect of Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita, Matsya Puran affirm that Brahman rests on the personality of Godhead, just like sunlight emanates from the sun. The goal, therefore, is Vaikuntha, which is most important. Now, the Gati word which is used in these shlokas is this is referring to this final destination, and that is not impersonal, but the personal abode of Narayan or Krishna. Like in second chapter, 11th shloka of Bhagavatam, first canto, we saw that the absolute truth is identified into three stages: Bhagavan, Brahman, and Paramatma. And Bhagavad Gita in 12.5, Krishna warns that the impersonal path is difficult and ultimately unsatisfying. So, superior liberation is always Salukya, residing with the Lord in Vaikuntha, his eternal abode. And supreme goal, therefore, is loving association with Krishna, not liberation from material existence. So, what Brahmaji is trying to say here is that all yoga, tapasya, jnana, dhyan, they are perfected when one reaches loving devotional service. And that is why Lord Chaitanya emphasized Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam. Now, the word Narayan or Lord Narayan who has been coming in this shloka, who is the source of all creation. And Brahmaji is the secondary creator of universe. And he himself admits that all he does is by the will and inspiration of Krishna. See at the Brahma's honesty. Though he is revered as the creator, Brahmaji is clearly saying, I'm not independent. I simply act according to the plan of Krishna. So he reveals that everything is already created by the Lord. He is only discovering and manifesting it. So the Lord is most powerful and is all pervading as the super soul or Paramatma. So every living being is a Jivatma, the individual soul, and it is accompanied by Paramatma, the supreme soul. Like it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 15:15, I am seated in everyone's heart, from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So even Brahmaji's intelligence and abilities, they come from this intelligence source, which is Krishna, and it comes from this internal guidance. So divine will always overrides the individual ability. Like in Bhagavad Gita 7.8, Krishna says, I am the ability in man. For example, in Purport Prabhupada talks about Columbus discovering America. But America already existed. Only by the Lord's will and past merit, Columbus received the credit. Similarly, Prabhupada spread Krishna consciousness worldwide, not by personal strength, but total surrender to Guru and Krishna's plan. And in Bhagavad Gita, we get examples for this. Like in 11th sloka of 4th chapter, it is mentioned, as one surrenders to me, I reward accordingly. Or in 33rd sloka of 11th chapter, Krishna says, all enemies are already slain. You simply you simply be my instrument, O Arjuna. So this shows that the Lord is the one who does the real work, and the surrendered souls receive the credit for whatever work is being done by Krishna as per his divine plan. Now, God's plan is always better as compared to human speculation. Modern scientists, philosophers, they claim knowledge, but without acknowledging the supreme will, they always remain in illusion. See, the cosmos that we talk about is not at all chaotic. There's a divine plan behind every event, movement, and creation. And the Lord is the Sarvakaran Karanam, the cause of all causes. And Krishna is the source of Narayana. So, though Narayan is the focus here, he is an expansion of Krishna. As we saw in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Sarvasya Prabhava Matta Sarvartha. So, Krishna performs intimate pastimes in Vrindavan, while Narayana extension governs majesty and awe in Vaikuntha. So, Shrita Shrita Rupa 6.8 says that the Lord has no material senses, yet he sees, hears, moves, and controls all. But then we can understand all this only when we surrender. So, what is the essence of true surrender? One, to reach this highest state, one must voluntarily render devotional service unto the Lord. The Lord reciprocates based on the degree of surrender and humility. And thirdly, service to Narayana through devotion and a proper guidance is the best effective path. So, where do we get the proper guidance? From a spiritual master. So, advancement in spiritual life is best achieved under the guidance of a qualified guru. The guru provides the link to the transcendental knowledge and exemplifies devotion for us. So, living a life in Krishna consciousness while at the same time acting in harmony with the will of the Lord, that is the recommended process. So, what is it that we have to do? We have to decide which is the best for us. Meditation, study, service, bhakti, which centers our mind on Krishna. Second, cultivate knowledge for the sake of deepening our relationship with Krishna, but then not academic prowess. Thirdly, seek humility through service, recognizing that our place is a servant of the Lord. Fourthly, approach a spiritual master so that we are staying anchored in bona fide spiritual teachings. And fifthly, we have to aim for loving association with the Lord, aspiring for entry into His divine reality. So, what we have learnt in this shlokas is that all spiritual disciplines, yoga, meditation, austerity, knowledge, they are incomplete without devotion to Krishna. The destination of true sadhana is Vaikuntha, not impersonal Brahman. Lord Brahmaji is not independent creator. He acts under Lord Narayana's instructions. Fourthly, our talents, ideas, discoveries, since they are sanctioned by the Lord, they should be used in His service. The most intelligent and successful life is that which is aligned with Krishna's will. Bhakti is both the means and the goal. All other paths find perfection only when they merge into devotional service. So let us accept this fact that the true spiritual progress is marked by surrendered service and cultivation of direct consciousness of Krishna under the shelter of a spiritual guide.